One question I tend to get a lot is, should I start my career at a startup? They're very much glorified. They're exciting, they're sexy, you can wear many different hats. Everyone loves wearing hats these days. But the answer is probably no. You shouldn't be starting your career at a small organization. You should probably look for bigger organizations to start and then maybe eventually move to a startup or a small org or even creating your own startup. I started my career in startups. I've been the first sales hire 3 times. But on top of that, I've also worked for larger organizations. So I've got to see the sides of small and the side of big. Within the startup world, also, I've worked for organizations that have been amazing with great exits. And I've also worked for organizations where, to put it nicely, have failed to meet product market fit, you could say. So why do I say your first job may be not the best time spent at a startup? Are really 2 reasons: the career mobility and the training. One thing that's sold as a benefit of startups is that you can self-teach, you can wear many different hats, you can do many different things, and it's all up to you to learn. So if you're a hard worker, you'll do great. The answer is that, well, that is true. The idea that large organizations don't offer that is frankly just not true. Having a manager or having a training program that can help you learn more effectively is always better than self-teaching. And when I work for large organizations, or I know many others, you can go home and teach yourself anyway. There's nothing stopping you to self-teach. Second part I touched on was the career mobility. You're going to be switching jobs. Many people have many different jobs. In fact, many people have many different careers. So you want to look at an organization as a stepping stone. A small organization is hyper dependent on the success of that organization. So no matter how good you are, your future prospects can be hindered because of a bad company. If you're working within an industry and you want to switch jobs, recruiters won't know who your company is. Even if you got that sexy VP title at the age of 32, many people won't believe it because inflation within roles is so hyperinflated. Everyone's a VP at startups. Everyone's a CEO. So everyone takes that with a grain of salt. So you have to look at it from an outside recruiter's point of view. You have someone who worked for a Salesforce or a Shopify who's a sales manager, or you have this guy, Bob Smith, working for Widgets 100, who is also a sales manager. But I don't know who that company is, and I don't know what training they did. Because this ties into training, working for large organizations gives you that credibility. It's like going to an Ivy League school. It allows you to get your door into future prospects, but these are quite negative. What are the positives? On the other side of the coin, the big positive is the ability to grow, adapt, and change much more effectively and quicker than any other organization, and especially horizontally. Within a small company, what I've seen is that an employee who may start in one part of the business, such as support or sales, can easily move to another part. They can move into product, they can move into account management, they can move into operations. A large organization, there's 17 different steps you have to go through, different managers, different forms you have to fill out. In a startup, it can almost happen every few months if you wanted it to, if you prove your worth. The second thing on top of that is that many people who work for small organizations want to have their own company. And they believe working for a startup will get them experience into that world. Although the best advice I heard on that point is that start your own company. The best way to learn is to do it yourself. But if you are a part of a very successful company, especially a small company, you may be able to see how they raise funding. You may be able to see their pitch decks. You will get an insight into what it takes to be successful and allow you to dictate where your future wants to go. So that is a large benefit I have found, especially if you're interested in that world and you're maybe not ready yet to take the step into having your own venture. Final biggest benefit I've seen for working at a small organization is that you can be on the bleeding edge. Small organizations that have success, you really hear a lot of times, is the mobility, the ability to be agile, the ability to adapt, overcome a lot quicker than large organizations. You're dynamic, you're quick, you're feisty. If you want to be on the bleeding edge, if you want to work on CRISPR-Cas9 and clone babies, there's only a few organizations you can go to. And those are the companies that may be on that startup scale, even if they have a lot of funding. What are the takeaways from this video? How to successfully choose where the fit will really be? It comes down to a few things that are extremely important but hard to judge, and that is the whole your business is your family thing. That is always a red flag in a job description. Say, we treat people like family here. It just means you overwork with no pay. If you don't like your manager or you don't like the founders, you will see them every day in a small company. If you don't respect them, if they don't respect you, it is gonna be hell early on. And the one thing you'll learn is that people don't leave companies, people leave managers. So that toxic relationship early on will not get better. If things start off rough, it's better to end it there and look for somewhere else. It's like starting a marriage. If it's on a bad foot already, it's going to take so much therapy and so much work to get it to be better. The big thing to consider is, do you like the founders? In a small organization, the founding team dictates the culture and not the other way around. So if you like them or you respect them or you understand their vision, mission and vision, this was always a first good step to have. Secondly is transparency. At a small company, they're taking a risk to hire you, but you're taking a risk to work for them. So if you're asking questions and a lot of the feedback is, well, that's proprietary, or no, we don't want to talk about that. For example, a common question I've been told to ask many times in interviews is, what's the runway look like? And if they don't answer it with a relatively clear answer, it's a massive red flag. There is fires behind that door, and you better not look to go further. Now, I'm not expecting founders to give me the whole breakdown of their financials, but there should be a candid conversation of the risks you're entering into. It's like a gamble. You should know your risks to help you make a better informed decision. So those are some of the risks, those are some of the benefits of working for a startup. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't have changed in my career, although maybe looking for more training early on might have been helpful. But overall, I think it was a great choice. I'm happy with where I am. But let me know what you think. Are there any other questions you have? If you're ever interested in talking about jobs, descriptions, startups, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to chat. And yeah, follow for more startup ideas and content. Hopefully you guys enjoy.